People who talk about an enlightened humanity are talking about a world where the lamb lies down with the lion, and everyone is happy and healthy and whole. In short, a world without conflict, without drama. But that would be very silly, since the whole point of duality is division. The whole point of opposites is opposition. This is the drama, not a still life. And no awakened being would ever suggest that everything wasn't just perfect the way it is. Imagine a group of self-proclaimed visionaries who want to smooth out all the roller coasters so there were no scary plummets or loops, just long, slow, safe circles. Great, but what's the point? Anyone who says there's a shift coming and those who follow their teachings will ride the wave are in the sales business. More accurately, they're in the business of selling something that's not theirs to sell. They get asked why no one who buys ever receives the product. And this is the stock answer. We'll all make the big shift together. That's how they keep the dogs wagging their tails. I know. All these books, all these teachers, all these organizations, they're all doing their job. Not so much as a hair out of place in the entire universe. Marla goes to the kitchen to fix us some tea. Annie is snuggled in but still awake. I see she's wearing a necklace, so I pull it out and find a yin-yang pendant attached. There's a lap blanket draped over the top of the chair Annie and I are hunkered down in, so I grab it and lay it over her, tucking it in around the edges. Her mother notices the necklace. I got that for her at a gift shop in town. She saw it and just had to have it. Maybe she was Japanese in a previous life, I suggest. Well, says Marla, I think she wanted it because I have a yin-yang symbol tattooed here. She indicates the lowest region of abdomen that might still be politely referred to as abdomen, and she's seen it. I smile. What was the thinking with the tattoo? I asked. Oh, you know, I was young. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to defy my parents. I wanted to demonstrate that I was in tune with the balanced nature of the universe. All that stuff. I've heard people describe it differently than I thought. They make it sound more, I don't know, dark, I guess, but I'm not sure they understand it all that well either. I had planned to ask you about it, but not at 1 a.m. That's okay. It's certainly nothing sinister. As you know, the yin-yang symbol is generally viewed as representing the dual nature of reality, the equal and opposite nature of balancing forces, always in harmony, all that. But, she says, but there's more. There's the third element. Marla's eyes shift to the necklace hanging from her daughter's neck. What third element? Containment. The circle, the whole. Finiteness. Marla nods a little uncertainly. Without the element of containment, the opposing elements could not exist, much less maintain their balance. The container is what defines the whole, of which black and white are the two aspects. Her look is asking why that matters. That matters because duality is always finite. Duality is always contained, always within a finite sphere outside of which it cannot exist. It's the sphere that defines the context within which opposites exist. As an analogy, humans can't survive in outer space, so they need life support systems in which they can survive. Spacesuits and spaceships are like bubbles in which humans can exist, environmental bubbles conducive to human life within surroundings that aren't. Planet Earth is such a bubble. Bathyspheres and submarines are others. So the circle represents the finiteness? She asks. The yin-yang symbol isn't the symbol of universal harmony and balance? It's a symbol of duality in the false universe? Well, It's both, I suppose, depending on your mood. And what's outside the sphere? What's outside the bubble? Exactly. Excuse me? That's the question. That's what all the spirituality stuff is about. What's ultimately true? Once you've arrived at the conclusion that reality as we think of it isn't reality at all, then the question becomes, what is? What's beyond the dualistic illusion? What's beyond context? Space? She guesses. Infinity? Sure. The truth is out there, the void, the abyss, no self, and our fragile little bubbles are what let us float around in the infinite, able to enjoy the experience of somethingness where only nothingness exists. The illusion of opposites, good and bad, love and hate, joy and sorrow. These aren't available out in infinite reality, only in bubbles. She mulls that over for a while. After a few minutes, she asks the question I've been nudging her toward. So why is nothingness better than somethingness? This is a big question. Why is unity better than duality? Why is truth better than the lie? Why is the infinite better than the finite? Why is awake better than dreaming? I never said it was, I respond. But Marla stares at me for a few moments, taken aback, assimilating. I smile as I watch her confusion. But I'm standing right on the edge, Marla. I'm in the bubble. I'm out of the bubble. Both, neither. But whatever I am not in the business of encouraging people to leave the bubble. I don't proselytize. I'm not selling anything. I'm not saying one thing is better than another. I simply stand here, both in and out, and try to aid those who come to me. Some will exit the bubble. Some will get a glimpse of the infinite, decide that that isn't what they wanted after all, and turn back. I don't try to stop them or convince them that truth is better. For those who have questions, I have answers because I answered them all for myself. For those who want to proceed, I have guidance because I made the journey. For those who make it through, I have advice because I know what it is to be both within and without. But if you want to know what I really think, I think the bubble is a magnificent amusement park, and leaving it is a damn silly thing to do unless you absolutely must. And I would advise anyone who didn't absolutely have to leave to just head back in and enjoy it while it lasts, the good and the bad, the white and the black. Marla holds my gaze for several seconds. She knows what she's just been told, but she's having trouble processing it. Annie is sound asleep now. Marla comes and picks her up without waking her, and whispers, "Thank you." After they go, I let my mind continue playing with the whole bubbles in infinity monologue. Needs some fine-tuning, I decide. My mind floats back to my earlier thoughts and my unceasing amazement that something as seemingly simple and inevitable as truth has been utterly mired in confusion and misdirection. I am not surprised to see that Maya, goddess of confusion and misdirection, is back in the chair opposite me. "So who are the priests of all religions?" she asks me. "They are your shepherds," I respond, "keeping the sheep in the fold, away from the cliffs." I know this. I know that the religions with their promises of an afterlife form an interior layer of containment, and that the eternal rewards and punishments they speak of are as finite as the one in which they speak. Bubbles within bubbles, turtles on top of turtles. "And who are the saints and sages of the great spiritual traditions?" she asks. "They are your final level of containment. They are the weavers of the final web, masters of subtle misdirection, convincing because they are convinced. For every million that get near the edge, perhaps only one steps over. She smiles. And where do I dwell? In the heart, I respond, in fear. Fear of what? She asks. Fear of being haunted by meddlesome Hindu deities? I ask. But she's already gone.